Why did Disney's new Snow White go from this?
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
To this.
The cartoon's so beloved. It's like a monumental moment in film history.
Yeah.
It was like the first feature-length cartoon movie. All of these amazing things that happened for that film are the reason that you and I really get to sit here today, because it made Disney what it is.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can.
And there are people out there who say things that make people want to not come together, that make people want to fight, and it's just not worth the time and energy.
Rachel Zegler is in huge trouble with Disney after refusing to change her attitude regarding Snow White and the hate she's been getting. You'll be shocked to hear why Rachel refuses to take any criticism for her problematic behavior. Rachel Zegler has not been making things easy for Disney, as she has time and time again decided to go against fans' wishes and has made the promotion for the movie an absolute nightmare. From the moment Rachel was cast for the role, people have been hesitant to accept her as Snow White. However, that's not to say that fans didn't have great hopes for her. That is, until she started speaking about the movie and all its changes, which turned out to be a huge mistake in the face of fans. Rachel seems to be trying her hardest to villainize the original Snow White movie, as she has not only called it outdated and problematic, but she even admitted to never having been a fan of it in the first place, which really put a lot of people off from her. Getting to work with Disney is a huge honor, especially when it's such a huge movie like Snow White, which quite literally started Disney's legacy. Because of this, people felt that Rachel had to be more grateful for the role she was offered, and at least share her respect for the source material that she was portraying. Many people were very unhappy to see Rachel act so entitled about her role, since a lot of other actresses could do just as good a job as her, while also having respect for the character. Fans believe that Rachel's main mistake was to act like she was 100% right in her opinions, and that Disney deserves to be hated on, despite the fact that she's working for them. Rachel has been incredibly political in her interviews, where she's been discussing the topics of feminism and inclusivity for the movie, something which many people feel is extremely unnecessary. Snow White already tells a story regarding a strong character who manages to come up on top against evil forces while finding love and friendship on the way. It's something that's been treasured for many years, and is one of the most well-known and beloved stories in the world, which is why it truly makes no sense to change any of it. Disney has been on a spree when it comes to changing up the source material to fit their new movies. And while some criticism for outdated ideas has been more than welcome, some fans believe that Disney is going too far with Rachel. Rachel's entitlement surrounding her role has only brought negativity to Disney's doorstep, especially since it sounds like she truly believes that this version is superior to the original one, and that this movie will somehow be miles better than the original.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Some fans even feel insulted by the fact that Rachel has been trying to push the prince out of the movie by making herself seem like the only important character in this scenario. Rachel seems to believe that the love story has no place in Snow White, and even goes as far as to say that the prince could be removed from the movie without any trouble, which was truly shocking to fans.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. Cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut, who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Rachel seems to have no regard for the fact that this is a story where Snow White is helped by those around her, and that she genuinely forms meaningful bonds with these characters, which might have something to do with the fact that Rachel might not fully have understood the story. In fact, Rachel revealed that as a child, she was scared by the movie and refused to have anything to do with it because of it. Fans believe that Rachel is giving Disney very bad press with these comments, as it makes it seem like has been extremely unprofessional in their casting choice. Other actors from the movie have been much better at conforming to Disney's standards, and have managed to not make anything awkward or awaken any discourse online since they stayed away from political topics. Fans have pointed out that Gal Gadot has been really great at sticking to her character's internal journey, and talked a lot about the actual story that was happening instead of spending her time insulting the original, which has only earned her positive comments from fans. This is proof that it is possible to work on this movie without making yourself hated, as it is not necessarily the movie itself that's the problem, but the way it's being presented. The movie has already received a lot of backlash regarding the portrayal of the dwarfs, since many fans believed that the initial vision was too far removed from the original. The dwarfs being turned into magical forest creatures didn't sit well with fans, and it was just another one of those things that had been changed to modernize the story, which ended up being a total disaster. And this is something that Disney realized pretty quickly was getting a massive amount of hate, since they actually decided to change things and made an entirely new version of the dwarfs, mainly consisting of CGI. This was a clear sign that Disney was listening to complaints, meaning that it couldn't have escaped their radar exactly how much Rachel was being criticized. Rachel is bringing the movie just as much bad publicity as the dwarfs were giving it, and it's now been made clear that Disney won't hesitate to delay things further or change huge chunks of the movie in order to appeal to the public. This leaves no doubt that Rachel was told to keep things more professional in interviews if she wishes to appeal to fans, since Disney could probably fire her any day. Rachel getting fired by Disney has been a speculation for a while now, as she's been keeping quiet about the movie, and has even been dropped from several of her other upcoming projects because of the backlash. Rachel has not been doing her reputation any favors, and if she's not careful, she could seriously get some massive consequences. This might be why we seem to have been hearing less and less about Snow White from interviews. As Rachel has kept things pretty quiet on her side, comments from angry fans have definitely been getting to her, as she actually addressed it in a video, talking about how it's hard to turn the other cheek to some of these things.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
This is also why people suspect that Disney might have turned on her and have been forcing her to change her attitude towards the movie, as the studio doesn't seem to be standing up for her in the face of the hate. If the studio agreed with Rachel on these stances, it's hard to believe that they would let everyone throw around so many complaints, meaning there's definitely been some internal conflict behind the scenes. It sounds like Rachel will really have to brush up on some media training if she wants to continue playing Snow White, since Disney has proven that they're not afraid of delaying things further. However, Rachel seems to continue to be difficult, as she doesn't seem to have learned too much from her mistakes. In an interview with Halle Bailey, who had received a similar amount of hate for her role as the Little Mermaid, Rachel spoke on the fact that she doesn't seem to think that she owes anyone anything. Rachel directly called out people who keep hating on her, and even went on to brag about the fact that she was in a Disney movie, while others can only complain online.
Choosing thankfulness and gratefulness is choosing peace. And as much as you'd like to remind people verbally that being in the spotlight doesn't absolve you of your humanity, that you're allowed to have human moments, it doesn't necessarily do what you want it to do, and it fuels them more.
Yes, exactly.
And so, just as you said, it's like choosing to be present and know that they're probably just having a really hard day.
Yes.
And I am putting out a movie.
Amen. That's right.
Many people saw this as several steps in the wrong direction, as Rachel once again managed to say the wrong thing. Angry fans commented on the fact that this seems like failed damage control, as Rachel doesn't seem to care about her own or Disney's reputation. Had you considered not being hateful when you're in the spotlight? Whatever, that's a weak excuse. You need to do better. She made a mistake, doubled down, and still has not retracted her statement or apologized. Rachel did this to herself. Hopefully, after Snow White, we don't have to see any more of her. Disney is probably not too happy about Rachel's continued disobedience either, especially after she was quoted saying, "This is an iconic thing that people really care about. I don't want to mess this up for anybody, including myself." But it looks like at the end of the day, her entitlement and her pride might be getting the best of her as she continues to bring in bad press for the movie, most likely dooming it to the point of no return. What do you think about Rachel's attitude? Let me know down below, and don't forget to check out this other video.